Yogesh. It's just such a joy to have you for Confab, a special initiative started by My Big Brand Story to share unique stories and compelling brand narratives.
I'm delighted to be with you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Yogesh, again. So, Yogesh, what is Gaston? And how did you arrive at this unique brand name?
This is one good question that I get asked all the time. I found a Gaston somewhere about a year or so ago with the sole purpose in mind that there are so many people who have special diets or food allergies, intolerances. And when they're looking for food, it's a nightmare for them. And in some cases, it's a matter of life and death. So I could not see this, I could not bear this. And for that reason, I decided to build a technology that can help them find, order, and consume food safely. So what Gaston does is that helps connecting the dietary and nutritional requirements of a user to food choices around them so that they can go out and enjoy their social life worry-free. They do not need to worry about getting any allergic reaction or feel social inclusiveness. So Gaston facilitates that. You ask a second question, what's the name? Where did that come from? Now, there's a funny story behind that. Our 5-year-old daughter, she watches a program, which is a children's program. And in there is a character, Gaston, which is a ladybird. And I was so connected to that character because all she did was continuously kept drawing that ladybird and writing Gaston behind it. And I thought that, okay, what a wonderful name this is. So we decided to brand this and make this into a product that then helps connecting, again, the people who have special diet needs. So there is a personal and the emotional connection to that, but more importantly, the purpose it drives that's more important.
Very nice, very interesting. It kind of speaks volume about the entire thought process because I understand that, as we are progressing, so is the allergic phenomenon that is happening all over. That's also kind of increasing day by day with GMOs and other, advancements that we see. On one side, it is very revolutionary, but on the other side, it is kind of creating a lot of problems for a majority of the chunk of the audience that we see today. I think it's a great step. Could you, tell something more about Gaston? Like, what are your future plans? What do you intend to do? And which are the markets you're presently serving? And what is the initial traction that you have had so far?
Yeah, sure. One thing that you raised quite importantly, that how the food or habits of people with the food has evolved. More specifically, if you look at the last decade, people now consume food that they want to do it for them. More importantly, health consciousness has grown as well. People no longer want to eat, fatty food or want to try out different diets that can help improve their healthier lifestyle. So this is another angle that feeds into Gaston. Now, if you look at the total need, globally, so roughly 35-40% population is having one of those special diet needs, whether it's if they are vegan, vegetarian, or having a religion-based diets, or having certain food intolerances or allergies. They could be even flexitarian, who then switch diets every now and then, just because they want to go into those, or work on those healthier lifestyles. Now, all of that, a group of people are now looking for food that connects or achieves those targets or requirements that they're having. And this is why we think that Gaston not only has a potential in a localized market, but it can have a significant potential out in international markets as well. So we started our journey here in the UK. We currently focus on in London. We already have plans going out in different cities here in the UK.
Wonderful.
We progressively have plans going into Europe and US, and incidentally, we already have our early customers in, for example, in Italy. We are setting a pilot in the US since we signed a major deal with one of our channel partners there, who then gives us access to a significant number of restaurants in the US market. So that paves a way for us to get into that one of this target market that we are very keen for. And on the other side, we are also getting now significant inquiries and for the opportunities in Indian market.
Now, that's incredible.
Yes. And this is one of the markets that we've been looking for. And we also know that within India, the food habits of people have changed significantly as well. And COVID has played a major role. Doesn't matter where we look at globally. Everybody either started cooking at home a lot more, or whatever they're eating, they've started eating putting those health metrics in front of them every time they're consuming food. Absolutely. So again, that plays a major role how we want to position Gaston. We want Gaston to become a go-to app for people who have special diet needs or trying to achieve those nutritional targets. And we don't want to just limit ourselves to a local market. We have seen and know that our platform has a significant opportunities outside UK, and we are already working on that.
Okay, that's incredible, indeed credible. Starting from London, expanding then to UK, then expanding, getting early inquiries from both US and Indian markets is quite incredible. So how long you have been in the business?
So Gaston, we started sometime in 2019. It is a COVID baby.
Oh, lovely!
One of those many
we
startups.
are also COVID babies. Yeah, we started in March. Our first operations in 2019, and within 1 week, there was COVID everywhere.
Yes, exactly. So this one is also sort of a COVID baby. We started our real operational journey somewhere in January 2021 in terms of building the technology. And then we planned our beta somewhere in the mid to third quarter in 2021, which was successful. And following to that, we launched a market-ready product somewhere back end of November. I feel incredible for the team, what they have achieved in this 9-10 months, that getting a product out from ideation to a market-ready product within that 10-11 months time window. This is just simply incredible. So, but again, they work really hard. They all believe in the product. The cause that we're working on, that's the most important thing, right? So for startups, they are as good as the purpose that we are working on. So our team is incredibly passionate about the problem that we're solving and the potential that it can bring, both for us, but also the community around us. So yeah, within a year and a half in total, we now sitting with about 400 partners on our platform.
That's lovely. That's phenomenal.
It's amazing. It's a testimony to the need of the solution that we're developing. It's a testimony to the technology that can play a role in improving people's lifestyles. So this is what we're trying to do. We don't want to bring an advanced solution where we don't see a fit for it, but instead it is a solution for the community, by the community.
Right. You were saying that, you have done some dipstick study and you have realized that close to 35 to 40% audience is allergic. So now if we look at Indian market, Indian market with so much of population, I think we don't have such kind of evolved data patterns emerging here where we know that 35% or 40%. While we know, like, for example, when my daughter was diagnosed with, egg allergy, as a parent, I'm a literate mother. It's not, I don't understand. I'm well read. In spite of that, for me to accept that there is something like an egg allergy existing in this world, it was, big thing. I couldn't absorb this fact. So how do you think an Indian market where this entire thing is at still at the nascent stage, how do you think, what kind of path breaking initiatives you would have to take, or you have already taken, so that the Indian audience considers this as one of the most useful apps?
Yeah, so India we consider as a very complex but incredibly lucrative market. Complex because in India, as we all know, the food is like a religion,
I
and
know.
more importantly, the food or the way we make food, the ingredients that we use, spices that we use, changes as you move from states to states in India.
Absolutely right.
So this is what brings the complexity. So when we say a particular dish or a recipe, it will be done completely differently in another part of the India. And this is what makes India unique,
Right.
and diverse in all shapes and forms. Coming back to the point, so that's the complexity part. But on the other side of it, the awareness of population about those special diet needs, whether it is to do with a simply lifestyle choice that a person is turning to vegan because of the strong
Lactose intolerance. Yeah.
Exactly, they live with. On the other end of the spectrum is that people who have severe or moderate form of allergies, as you
Right.
explained that your daughter is having one. But now there is a growing awareness within the community. If you look at it now, plant-based food in India, nobody knew about that 5 years ago, right?
Right.
Today, we have a major drive going on, including likes of Virat Kohli and Anushka.
Right.
They're investing and sitting on a board of, a budding startups. They are now, serving plant-based burgers.
Right.
So this is just a start, what I'm trying to say. And then it's going to grow significantly also. So this is it just highlights that India is very, very green market in these terms, where we see that population need some form of assurances. The food they're consuming is not contaminated. But at the same time, that people are now demanding food that they can consume safely if they are in that allergic and intolerant spectrum, but confidently if they're on more vegan, vegetarian, or religion-based diet spectrum, where and Gaston again can serve that need no matter whatever your special diet is, whether it's driven by your lifestyle choice or religion beliefs, or having certain medical condition that restricts what you can and can't eat. Another thing that's happening within Indian market is we have traditionally consumed food either from restaurants or cooking at home.
Right.
And what we haven't considered that, and when we make food at home, the traditional process is that you bring the vegetables or ingredients from 5-10 different places, right, and then you cook a dish at home for the family. Now there is again a growing opportunity here for within the Indian market of introducing meal kits and ingredient boxes that people can then take. That's
interesting.
And they have a predefined recipe and the quantity of ingredients that they can utilize to cook food that is almost as good as the restaurant quality. And that again helps reducing the food waste. I'm just telling you that how one solution is connected to another major problem that it can solve. But again, Gaston, why it can have a major an opportunity in Indian market is that what we can do, what we are allowing, we're serving as a platform provider, where whether it's a restaurant want to sell food, whether it's meal kit ingredients providers want to sell their ingredients, we can create those opportunities for them. Essentially, we are Amazon of food market. What we're trying to do.
Lovely. That's huge. That's huge. And the entire technology is powered by, I read somewhere on your collaterals, it's powered by some award winning technology. So could you just highlight
Yes.
on that aspect and share something about that?
Yeah. So it is artificial intelligence. We have created a model, and this is the key ingredient that to success. So if a user has those special diet needs, the last thing they want to worry about is that they're getting contaminated food. Uh, we cannot in 100% form guarantee that, but what we are doing consciously is that we're creating validation steps in the process in between, from restaurants or food enterprises making the food all the way down to serving, so that those validation steps that we're bringing in with the help of our team of nutritionists, then the error points are avoided, the contaminations are avoided. So we bring the awareness and knowledge to the food enterprises, so they understand when a user is having certain allergies, intolerances, how they should be preparing food. On at the same time, giving the confidence to the user when they are ordering food via our platform or app, they will not even see the dishes that they cannot consume. So, for example, I'm vegetarian. I will not see a steakhouse in my search list of the restaurants. More importantly, when I'm looking at the menu of a restaurant, I will also not see any meat dishes in my phone. So what it does is essentially it makes it error-proof for me. So I would never be able to order food that I would not be able to consume. And that's what our AI model does.
That's brilliant. That's incredible because, this refined research is very, very handy. And even if, we are aware, we are knowing everything, Google is there. But I think a very customized experience is required. I think you provide that customized experience also,
That's
what I
correct.
understand. Right?
That's correct, yeah.
I just tried to download your app and I was trying to explore and play with it. And I realized that, how evolved is this entire platform where you are trying to place my requirements very logically. And I see the very intriguing and very powerful dashboards which are throwing information it's very intuitive in nature. I realize that. And it's the prompts and all that are happening are very intuitive in nature. So I think kudos to your entire team for cracking this. It's amazing.
Sure, yeah, and as you just mentioned that app is free to download, and as you also just mentioned that you are, once a user downloads the app, in a simple few steps, you just build your dietary profile. And we are also building on the nutritional components now. So going forward, you will also be able to build your nutritional profiles. You will be able to add family members into your profile, because food is not something, or largely, it's not something that you're consuming on your own.
Right.
You're consuming with friends and family
Right.
also. That doesn't mean that people don't consume food on their own, but largely speaking, it's done with the family and friends. So what our app will allow is that you will be able to add the family members on the account, as well as add friends as guests onto your account. So when you're searching for food, whether you want to order a takeaway or book a restaurant or order meal kits or even cakes or sandwiches from cafes and delis, you will always get the options that are good for the group of people that you're ordering with. So it enhances the experience, it shortens the journey. The app is simple to use. It helps you create the profile in simple few steps. And more importantly, then everything that happens after that it's personalized for you. So that personalization element is quite key.
Lovely. It's brilliant. I actually, I understand that this is not your first startup. So you are a serial entrepreneur. So could you share something quickly about your this entire serial entrepreneurship journey?
Yes, sure. I think right after my studies, so I completed my PhD in chemical engineering, and I had an opportunity to work for some of the best employers out in the world. And more importantly, I was always thrown into an entrepreneurial capacity, of whether it's to build a new market or grow a team or increase the business. All of that gave me an opportunity to continue applying my entrepreneurial spirit and the knowledge that I had in the domain that I worked. And that was always the case, that I have always been and lived with this entrepreneurial spirit. So then there was a moment for me to start an enterprise of my own. So I launched my own consultancy in 2016. We did significantly well, and then COVID struck. So obviously, no more flying, no more traveling. So a life of a consultant is not so much fun, if you don't get to travel and and meet the customers and clients. So this is when I started Gaston. So Gaston then kept us busy. We started, rather than building a product from our perspective, we went to customers and asked them, what should we build for you that will work for you? We asked the users, normal people, that if you have an allergy, what would you like in a new solution? And we spent good 6 months learning that, really, refining what a product should look like. And this is when we decided to give birth to Gaston. So it's a product in essence designed by the customers who we sell.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, so there is that customer validation part happened in that journey, and lately we are looking into diving into another venture, which is then allows us to build a temporary workspaces that users can book on the go. So effectively, they are pods. They will be located in a strategic locations in cities, in a park, tech parks, nearby the public transport hubs, where people can then book these pods for work, meet, collaborate, as flexibly. So this is a new initiative that we're working on, trying to help reduce the carbon footprint of a normal user when they are traveling to and from their workplaces. So this is something that we're building on a back burner at the moment, whilst we continue keeping the focus on Gaston, as Gaston is doing so well as well for us.
Yeah, that's amazing, and it's great to hear your journey. So what has been your first aha moment, if I want to ask you?
Within Gaston, you mean?
Yes.
So within Gaston, my first aha moment was when I had a user. She's Jewish, and she turned vegan because of her medical conditions. She could not eat certain type of meat, and also certain dairies. She started having intolerances too. Okay. So she turned into vegan, and then she come across Gaston. Okay. And I was humbled to receive a message from her, and she just called me and said, "This is exactly what I was looking for." And that's amazing. Yeah, and that was exactly the purpose, right? So it has to be solving a problem of a person who has those special diet needs and are literally struggling to find food choices that they can consume safely. And she found that in Gaston. Gaston allowed her to not only locate whether she wants to order takeaway or book tables or anything, but she can then also go ahead and order those foods. So when the food arrives to her, she can safely consume that. So when I received that feedback, I was taken back, and it's very funny. At that exact moment, I was sitting with a customer, and I showed that feedback to the customer, that look, this is what our users are really looking for, and I mean, you can guess that customer also
I
signed on our
know.
platform, right?
I
So
know.
because
I know.
it's that
That was the
validation
biggest
that anybody,
testimony of, yeah, it was the
yeah,
most authentic proof of concept that you would have ever received.
yeah. So that I would say that I felt, okay, right. We worked really hard this 9-10 months, and we were focusing on getting this product out in the market. But as I mentioned, that, like, we always did that with people in mind, with customers in mind, and we almost got to a point that it is their product, and they should be able to use that comfortably. But getting that validation in direct message to me, I felt really humbled when I received that.
Amazing. So could you share something for the budding entrepreneurs? Because that's the common question that we ask our entrepreneurs, and
Yeah,
it is very insightful to hear different perspectives.
yeah. One thing I would say is, it takes courage to do what you love, and it may sound very cliche when I say it, but it is so true. Entrepreneur journey is it's almost like walking one step forward and two step back, and then next day you're walking three step forward and one step back. So it's important that you don't look at the negatives or the steps that you're taking backwards, but always look at the front ones, that where you're going with it. So and there are times when you see that you start questioning, you start doubting yourself too, that okay, is this really, are we really working on something that's fundamentally going to change people's lives or not? But if the product is good, if you have done your research well about the market and the customers, uh, then just keep at it. You will get there. It's not going to be easy, but I will say it's worth it. Go ahead, do it, because when you're old, sitting and looking back at your life, you will enjoy that. You will feel that sense of satisfaction. I did that, uh, and now I know whether or not it works. Hopefully it does. But you will have tons of stories to tell to your grandchildren, for example.
Right. Brilliant. It is amazing to hear such incredible story from you, with such authentic inputs that you've shared. I think everyone is going to love your stories the way we loved your story. So we'll look forward to having more such interesting conversations with you. And we once again congratulate you for taking all the steps to make such a brilliant platform of, especially for the spatial diet needs, because that's what is going to be the most required need, and you're fulfilling that, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, thanks for having us. It's an incredible. We love what you do. We follow you quite well as well. So we just feel humbled that we've been invited to be part of this podcast, and yeah, we look forward to more of those opportunities. Tell stories to your users, our users, why we're doing the way we're doing things, and more importantly, when you hear Brown Gaston, we want to focus on how should that make you feel, whether you're a customer or our prospective employees. because we want to, right? We want to connect those requirements that you're having, whether it's you're looking into the prospective employer or a product that we're building, that we want to connect those requirements on each stage of our journey. So yeah, we look forward to telling more about what we do and what we're doing, we're going to be doing in future and all that in upcoming sessions.
Thank you so much.